Let's make some noise. Come on.
Yes, indeedy, Nick Foles. Let's make some noise because tonight we are, this country, the best hockey country in the world. Undeniable. Welcome back, everybody, to the Final Word with MattyB here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. A special edition episode. Well, not really, but a gold medal winning edition of the Final Word. Team USA, USA Hockey, as a program, both on the men's and the women's side of things, is now rocketed to the top of the world when it comes to greatness in the sport. Today, a epic, classic, legend, mythical, tell your grandkids you were there. Greatest hockey game I've ever witnessed. I obviously, from the standpoint of watching it on TV, it was edge of your seat type stuff. I tried to watch the game while also being a guest on Al's show this morning, which was not easy to do. I'm fixated on the game, and I'm trying to listen to him yammering on about Nick Sirianni. Well, no offense to Al, but well, boy, that was the greatest hockey game I have ever seen. And it was the game that I did not want to see end. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wish they were still playing right now. I wish we were into about the 19th overtime and we were still going. But Jack Hughes ends it. And it's a shame that we went off the air. What was it, about almost 2 minutes into the overtime? He gets the pass there from Wierzinski, and then he just right through the 5-hole, Bennington, sending the U.S. to the gold medal. Just an amazing, amazing game. And congratulations to Team USA, USA Hockey, all the members of the team. John friggin' Tortorella. We can't even get this right. I mean, we got our head coach sitting on the Canadian side and Rick Tocchet, and the guy we fired is on the American side. So we can't even get that right. But John Tortorella, a gold medal winning coach. I know they don't get medals, but, just an absolute masterpiece of a game. If you were not a hockey fan and you were trying and you just happened upon this game, I guarantee you're a hockey fan now, because that's what this was. In every aspect. Connor Hellebuck, I mean, what can you say? The save of the not season, not year, maybe in the greatest save in the sport, with that stick save as he's flailing back to his left or back to his right, just gets that stick and I mean, come on, man, come on. And it had everything. And the best thing that it has at the end of this day, this country sits alone as the greatest hockey country in the world. We've taken their sport. We have taken a country's sport away from them. There's no other way to say it. When you win gold on both the men's and the women's side of the Olympics, you've stolen a sport. And if there's a country out there that identifies with a sport that's theirs, and we just did what we just did, that identity is over. We are that identity, and at least for the next 4 years. And the 4 years from now can't get here fast enough. I want to see 2030. I want to see the gold medal defense. I want to see what Team Canada will look like, and it should look different. To be honest with you, yes, you're dealing with Connor McDavid, Macklin Celebrini. You're dealing with players along those levels, the greatest in the world. But why was Travis Sanheim on Team Canada? What business does he have playing for Team Canada? Why wasn't Matthew Schaefer playing for Team Canada, the hot young defenseman playing for the Islanders? Where was Connor Bedard? Why was he not part of Team Canada? Yeah, obviously with Sidney Crosby probably done now with Olympic competition, I expect Team Canada to be looking a little different come 2030, as they should be giving their young players an opportunity to play at that level. And they can go back and they can roster construct and bicker about why the roster was the way it was, but they can do that all they want. They ain't going to change the fact that we won the gold, and we earned it every friggin' step of the way. It was not easy. This was Team USA's worst game of the tournament. They played the worst today than they had played all the last 2 weeks. Connor Hellebuyck, again, what can you say? I have not been able to kind of unwind from this moment here. I've been watching stuff all day. Just a great moment for the country, a great moment for hockey in America, as a lot of people consider hockey our fourth sport in America. Well, right now, that fourth sport controls the world. How do you like that? So Team USA obviously is going to dominate the conversation tonight. Gold medal hockey will also dominate the conversation here on this Sunday night. It's great to be back in a weird week here on the program, because I'm going to be here tonight, going to be here tomorrow, but then won't be back till Wednesday, and that'll be it for the week. Got a lot of stuff going on this week, so I'm not going to be able to give you the 5 days. So we're going to try to get it in as we can, but yeah, it's great to be back on this abridged week, I guess, here on the show. For those of you in the Philadelphia area dealing with snow, just look at that as, we're the hockey capital of the world, so you're supposed to get snow. All right, just look at it that way, guys. We've earned hockey royalty. With it comes snow. Enjoy it. Go out there and play in it. Matter of fact, go out there, find yourself a frozen piece of lake, slap on some ice skates, and just go have some fun, because we control the winter sport of hockey in the world. And let that sink in, man. Just let that sink in. And I'm not talking geopolitical problems with Canada. I'm not talking about the tensions between the two countries on the political stand. I don't care about any of that. I'm talking about sport. We just took their national. It'd be like somebody taking baseball from us, right? It'd be like somebody claiming, royalty in baseball from us. We just took their sport, the only sport that they can really recognize through, and made it ours, at least for the next 4 years. Let that wrap around your head for a second, what we've done to those people in the span of the last 12 hours. And it's truly remarkable. So again, congratulations to Team USA. We're going to get into the Hughes. Jack Hughes losing teeth on the ice. And listen, Jack Hughes is a mid player in the NHL. He gets swallowed up continuously in games for the Devils. He's not that good. I think he's largely been a bust as the former number 1 overall draft pick in 2019. He hasn't really developed yet. But I don't know if this was the coming out party. If he's going to come back to the NHL now with his brand new teeth and, sporting that gold medal underneath his jersey now, I don't know if he's just sort of signaled his entrance to the NHL. But how can you not look at this game other than Connor Hellebuyck? Because let's face it, again, they did not play well today. They did the one thing that you can't do against a team like Canada, and that's they tried to defend a 1-0 lead in the first period. You can't. You got to continue to attack. You got to continue to take it to them. And they didn't. They sat back a little bit and allowed Canada to just kind of rush them. And again, Connor Hellebuyck was the name of the day, and he is my MVP for the tournament for them. But Jack Hughes, made a name for himself today. He did, or he made a name for himself over the past 2 weeks. Regardless of how you might feel about him, I think Quinn's the better Hughes brother, honestly. But that sure as hell was not the case over the last 2 weeks, as Jack Hughes put a stamp on his name on his NHL career. Just an amazing couple weeks. Barbara said, I saw the hockey game. I thought Canada dominated. Yeah, they did. The Brody goal early in the game, which was that sick play where he comes in between two defenders. What was it? McCarr and who was the other guy was with him? I forget the other guy, but he splits them, elevates the puck, bats the puck as he's splitting them, catches the puck as it's coming down. Then he goes backhand. No, he goes forehand to backhand, back to forehand, and he beats Bennington to the far side. I thought that was the signal that the game was going to be a blowout at that point. But you don't score a goal like that and not think that good things are going to happen. Yeah, that was just an amazing goal. But after that, it was, and even before that, it was, the U.S. kind of on their heels a little bit. And that didn't really change throughout the rest of the game as they, a lot of people look at this game and can easily see 3-1 Canada in this game. There were 3 solid scoring opportunities that for somehow they couldn't find the back of the net, and Connor Hellebuck was part of that. But they did have their opportunities. They had tons of those opportunities, and yeah, there's been some chirping about the format of overtime in international play, 3v3 versus the traditional 5-on-5, which they do in the NHL when it comes to like the playoffs. There's something to that. I'm not going to sit here and deny that, but I as good as this game was, and it was a great game, and if they would have went to a 5-on-5 overtime, we would have played on probably into at least potentially 2 or 3 overtimes. The quality of play it's not going to keep up. So I understand, maybe not 3v3, perhaps 4-on-4. Maybe that would have been a better format to go other than 3-on-3, because 3-on-3 is a lot of ice and there's a lot of opportunities that are going to come your way. But the Canadians were, I don't know if they're chirping about it. Was it McKinnon who said that we were the better team today? That's true, but silver's silver and gold's gold. So I don't know what you want here, but no, they did have their chances today. They did. They had a lot of them. Hey, Adam, what's going on? Matty, great win by USA hockey team. Fantabulous. And we're going to get into the ramifications of this win tonight, obviously, not only for the sport of hockey, but also, U.S. sports in general. And I'm going to give you my opinion about the Winter Olympics. I spent the most watching. I watched more of these Olympics than I probably have ever watched any Olympic Games before. And I don't remember. I don't know why. It wasn't that I was glued to the curling or cared anything about figure skating. I just, for some odd reason, I always found them on, and I was sat down and watched. So, but obviously, it all begins and ends with me with the hockey. And what I witnessed over the past 2 weeks was something I never thought I'd see. And it goes back to what Al, I think, was me and him were talking about this morning, about the Super Bowl and Eagles. After year after year after year, you're like, you know what? I'm just not. It's not in the cards for me to see it. It's just never going to happen. And this was a similar thing for me when it came to winning Olympic gold. I remember specifically watching Team USA beat the Russians in 1980. I do remember that. I was 7 years old. I remember watching it in my mom's bedroom on this little TV. I don't remember the gold medal game against Sweden. I don't have no recollection of that. Maybe because I thought, as I think a lot of other people did at that time, that was the gold medal game, and it wasn't. It was the semifinals. But I remember specifically watching the U.S. beat Russia in Placid in 1980. But I did not have any memory of them winning the gold against Sweden. So, of course, as I've grown up, every 4 years, you're waiting around for the next Winter Games to show up, and you're like, this is the year. And then year after year, or Olympic cycle after Olympic cycle, it's not. And I thought 2002 in Salt Lake, that was the year we were going to finally do it. We did it. And then, of course, we replaced Russia with Canada as the number one rival. But as these cycles kept going and going and going, it became more and more elusive to me to see it. And I got to a point where I never thought I'd see the U.S. win gold again or win gold, and I did. And I want to thank them for that, because it's been a thrill ride all day. Still kind of buzzing about it, watching all the videos from all the watch parties and all the celebrations around the country. the stuff happened inside Major League Baseball clubhouses as they were, early morning coming into work, sitting down, watching the game as a team and just enjoying it. It's a great day. It's a historical day, and I'm glad I was able to see it. And 2030 in France for the opportunity to defend the gold medal. Cannot wait. It cannot get here any sooner for me. They did. Quinn got a little lost. Didn't he actually? He had 7. He had led them in points, right? 8 points, 7 assists, 1 goal. Again, I thought Quinn Hughes was I still think he's the better Hughes brother, but Jack just it was his moment, man. It's him. This was his coming out party. This was the stage he was meant to be on, I guess, in order to do that. Yeah. Since most players of the U.S. or on the U.S. and Canada or in the NHL, it looked like a Stanley Cup. It did, and as Al said, it was a playoff. And interesting you bring this up, Barbara, because tonight's going to be more than just me talking about the U.S. hockey. And yes, the phone lines will be open. I will allow people obviously to jump in and comment with whatever they want to talk about. But this is an interesting thing because we got another one coming here in about 10 days. The WBC, the World Baseball Classic. And this has, again, international sports rights on the lines in baseball. We're trying to kind of rebound from losing to Japan back in 23, right? This has got more going on again. To me, this is just the start tonight or today. We got to go out and we got to win the WBC. And again, this what I saw today and what I witnessed over the past 2 weeks to all those out there, the detractors of participating in the Olympics, or having, the National Hockey League in the Olympics in season, having the MLB in the WBC in season. Well, today is the reason why you do it. This is why you do those things. And you're after watching this, I'm never going to support you telling me or people telling me, oh, we shouldn't be doing this in season. The hell we shouldn't. This was great. This was awesome. And I cannot wait for the WBC in 2 weeks. Whole other level of stuff right now. We're now operating on a whole nother level. We got to keep it rolling with gold in the WBC. This is just the start. It's time to take back our sport from Japan that they control, and we got to get that back. So to me, it's just a start. And, of course, baseball will return to the Olympics in the summer of 2028. They are bringing baseball back as a 16 tournament against 6 countries. The U.S. will be in the tournament because they're the host nation. Olympics are in Los Angeles. So they will get an automatic bid, but the other 5 teams are going to come from, 2 of them are going to come from the WBC. They're going to take the top 2 highest seeded teams from the Americas to exclude the United States, and they're going to earn 2 seeds to the Olympics based on the WBC. And then the other teams are going to come from other tournaments around the world over the next 2 years. So this has got ramifications. Maybe not this year for America because we are an automatic bid being the host country. But this has got Olympic ramifications now that they're bringing baseball back to the Olympics. And we have unfinished business with that sport at the Olympic stage. We suck at Olympic baseball in this country. We're terrible at it. And now we have an opportunity in 2028 to bring that back, along with apparently they're doing lacrosse now in 2028. They're the flag football stuff with the men's and women's. Squash is an Olympic sport now in the summer games. So for all you people out there that don't want to do this in season, did not enjoy, I'm afraid that, so-and-so is going to not be able to, Jack Hughes lost teeth. He lost teeth over this. But I guarantee you, he ain't feeling no pain, and I certainly ain't. So for all you people out there that are anti-WBC, in season or preseason of the baseball season, anti-Olympic participation during the All-Star break at the NHL level. Go back and watch this game today, because that is what it's about. And God, don't stop. I want more of it. I want more. Let's go. Good that the USA won, but Barbara, don't get me started on that, because as I was watching all this amazing hockey over the past 2 weeks, utterly amazing hockey, the one main thing I took from it was just how bad the Flyers are. Think about it. What I watched over the past 2 weeks, especially, and then today was the cherry on top of it all, was elite hockey across the board. I was sitting there utterly dumbfounded about, oh my God, so you're saying that this is how it's supposed to look? I've forgotten. I have been awashed in mediocre islands so long with the Flyers and their brand of hockey, that what I saw over the past 10 days from a team that I'm invested in, I didn't think this existed anymore, this type of elite play. You're telling me when you fill a lane, good things happen? You're telling me when you pass the puck, there's going to be somebody on the other end to get that puck? You're telling me it doesn't necessarily take 25 seconds for a 2-on-1 to set up? You're telling me that stuff's supposed to happen fluidly and fast? And goalies are supposed to make saves? When did this change? So that's the biggest, obviously winning gold is huge, and stealing the sport away from Canada is even huger. But the biggest takeaway I got from the Olympics is how light years away the Flyers are to competing at that level on that stage against those types of players. And it's a sad reality. And now I got to go back here on Wednesday and watch Flyers hockey. I'm sorry. It's depressing. It's absolutely depressing that I got to go from what I just went through to the Flyers. And I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't. I got spoiled because it's been so long since I've watched elite level hockey. So it was so long that I've been invested into an elite level hockey team. And I just don't know how to act. I don't. Yes, they will be open tonight. Really, why would we hate Canada? Their players are the best in our NHL. I never said anything about hating Canada. I said we stole it from them. They nothing to do with hating Canada. I hate 3-on-3. It is the NHL and the shootouts. I just rather have them have the ties like they did forever. Nah, come on, you can't have a tie settle a playoff game. All right, I mean that just doesn't work. But I know there's been some, which is funny because they weren't really necessarily griping about that's why they lost, but they were kind of, there's been a lot of griping about the 3-on-3 format in the overtime at the international level. And maybe I don't hear anybody ever griping about it at the NHL level, but they don't do it in the playoffs. And the playoffs is 5-on-5, but I like it. I like 3-on-3. It's fun. It is fun. But I can understand that at a playoff level, championship game type situation. Yeah, maybe you tweak it to a 4-on-4. Then I need to go middle more because we didn't have professionals playing. I disagree. I disagree. We didn't have professionals playing because of our own rules. The rest of the country, the rest of the world did. I personally, I know where you're going with this, and I get that. But to me, it doesn't make it doesn't make a difference to me. It really does. I understand though where these kids came from, and you're right. It did make it better at that time, and it would be better this time if that's were the case now. But to me, this one, I'm not. And again, I'm not pitting 80 versus 2026. I'm not pitting them against each other. Nothing will top the Miracle on Ice. Nothing. It's the greatest sports moment in the history of this country, in my opinion, and it by a landslide over everything. But what this did for me tonight, it validates a lot of stuff. It validates our presence in the international world when it comes to hockey. I mean, we have a great program, and right now we have the world's best, and it's undisputed, both on the men's and women's side. So, but I know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying, but it's a different world we live in now. You know what I mean? And we had our best players playing in the Olympics, regardless if they were paid or not. They were our best. They came out of our national development program, and there's kids in that national development program now. There's players that have come out of that national development program that are currently in the NHL that will hopefully get their chance soon to play at this level. Maybe some of them won't, some of them will. And it's just, if you understood the beginnings of hockey in this country, organized wise, it was just, it was a joke, kind of really bad. And since USA Hockey threw the umbrella over every level of youth hockey in this country, in order for them to create a funnel into the NTDSTB, it has been obviously providing this, and this is the results of it right here. So, to me, it's just it's the fruits of the labor, I guess. Quinn brothers representing the Devils did much than anyone on the Flyers. Got to respect it. Yeah. And well, the one brother, Jack, he was there. Luke did not move to the Luke Hughes, who was Jack's teammate with the Devils, did not qualify for the Olympics. And Quinn, of course, plays for the Wild. He was up for grabs earlier in the season. Vancouver was dumping their players, and they dangled Quinn Hughes out there, but nobody wanted to jump at the asking price, which I don't blame the Flyers. It was huge. It was steep. But the Wild did, and they signed him, or they traded for him. So, Matty, dude, the USA isn't top in baseball. 100%, it absolutely is. It is. Barbara, you're crazy. Of course it is. We got the best. We got the best baseball players in the world per capita. Yeah, and I don't want to hear about the Dominican Republic and Venezuela. No. If there's a country out there that rivals us in baseball, it's Japan, and that's it. Right? There's nobody else better than us. I will push back on that 100%. We are the best baseball players in the world per capita. 100%. 100%. How about the Kyle Schwarber? Yes, he did. He hit that home run today down there in Clearwater in a losing effort against the Pirates. Looked good, Jose. But who cares? Spring training home runs, man. Come on. I'd rather Harper do well and win with the Phillies than in the WBC Olympics. See, again, I get what you're saying, but maybe it's me. Maybe I felt we needed a patriotic shot in the arm. I don't know. There's no reason why we can't have both, right? I mean, Connor McDavid fails on both the professional level and the international level. So why can't we have somebody that succeeds on the internet? Listen, I get what you're saying, but winning is winning. And right now, my hockey team ain't winning. They ain't winning. And they ain't winning this year, and they ain't winning next year, and they probably won't win the year after that. So I'm going to take this today and use it to keep me warm the rest of the winter and into next hockey season, because my NHL team, they ain't cutting it. All right. So I'm wrapping this around me like a blanket over the course of the next year, because this is about as best as it's going to get for me for a while in terms of hockey glory. The Stanley Cup is about a bazillion miles away, and the gold medal is right here for me. But I feel you. But if you and I say this not you specifically, Barbara, but you as a person didn't get a sense of pride and patriotism and just respect for being an American based on what happened today, I don't know. Maybe sports aren't for you. We show the world today. Again, we show the world that we own hockey, just like we're going to show the world, God willing, in March, we own baseball, like we're supposed to. It's a different level for me. It really is. And not to mention the game that we watched, or that I watched today, was, as I said, the greatest hockey game I've ever laid my eyes on. It was between two teams at equal skill level, equally elite skill level, waiting for someone to blink first. And the effort, again, 2 teeth gone. Did he miss a shift? No. Right? The only shift he misses because he got a penalty. But did he miss a shift? No. Out there with the damn, teeth hanging out or sheared off at the base, blood all over his mouth, and he's out there playing hockey. What was pushing him to do that? What was pushing him to do that? It was the pride that he felt in and representing and wanting to win that gold medal. That's what pushed him to do that. That's other level stuff, right? That's other level stuff to me. And we're missing that in this society that we live in the load management era of sports. We're missing that. And I hope a lot of athletes took notice to what Jack Hughes did today and how he just kept pushing and wouldn't stop. I hope a lot of athletes looked at Jack Hughes today. I really do. And most importantly, what Team USA did today is it inspired a whole other generation of hockey players that are probably tomorrow morning, going out to Dick's Sporting Goods and buying skates for the first time at like 7 or 8 years old and wanting to get started and play hockey. That is probably the most important thing, that what this win did is it inspires the next generation of Jack Hughes and, Connor McDavid's of the world. Because as I said, if you weren't a hockey fan before this game and you watched it, you're a hockey fan now, because there's just no way to get around it. It was just that magical. But I disagree. I am so jazzed up for the WBC. I've always enjoyed international play, and now it has ramifications for the 2028 Olympics when Team USA will, God willing, the MLB, when they negotiate the new CBA, they'll put something in it to participate in the Olympics that year, because by happenstance, the summer games happen to fall in mid-July in 2028, and the tournament for baseball is set from the 13th to the 19th. That just seems to work out that way, that falls right around the All-Star break. Gee, I wonder how that worked out. But hopefully when they renegotiate the new CBA, they put something in there about the Olympics, and we are, instead of having an All-Star game in 2028, we're going and we're doing another Olympic run for another gold medal. And I am 100% for it. You're not going to talk me out of it. Of course, I want to see these players perform and do well for our team, but our team is the United States too. So yeah, absolutely want to see it. And I want to see more of it. The World Cup of Hockey comes back here probably in 2028. I think they're going to do one. No more Four Nations. The Four Nations was sort of something they threw together in order to get to the World Cup of Hockey again. So they're going to get the World Cup of Hockey started again, I think, in 2028. So it's 100%. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I need more of it. Wait, so Matty, sure blood is ACL and WBC, Mr. Fulton? No, I would not. No, I wouldn't. Sometimes you play, you get hurt, right? Yeah, I get it. I understand the risk involved, right? I do. But no, I wouldn't be upset. He went out and was playing for his country and he got hurt. Could happen getting out of his car tomorrow down there in Clearwater, right? Absolutely. I'm not going to live my life like that. No, I'm not going to live my life like that. Get out there and you compete, regardless of what arena you're competing in. You're going to let the chips fly where they may. When you're going to wrap Kyle Schwarber around in bubble wrap, is that what we're going to do with these players? If it happens, it happens. Absolutely. I understand that. And that's the risk of sport. That's the risk of life. No, I'm not going to live my life like that. Never. Nope. But anyway, just a very emotional day today. So welcome to the program tonight. Again, we are going to open up the phone lines here in a minute. I will give you guys the opportunity to get in. So much more to talk about when it comes to this Olympic just masterpiece. But here is your schedule for the week on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Kind of a light week. I ain't going to lie to you. Tomorrow, you will have me tomorrow. So that's a change. I will be back tomorrow night along with the Pittsburgh Sports Tonight program. There's nothing scheduled for Tuesday. There's only going to be one Pittsburgh Sports Tonight this week. John is traveling this week. I'll be traveling this week. So there will be nothing tomorrow or nothing on Tuesday. On Wednesday, you're going to have the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. You're going to have me, and I have the privilege of also doing the Clear the Ice program, Flyers and Capitals, as the Flyers will get back at it. We'll probably do a twofer that night. It might be a little bit later than 9 o'clock as well. We'll play it by ear, but there will be a final word on Wednesday night. Thursday, you'll have the Gridiron Weekly and the Flyers Rangers. Clear the Ice. There will be no final word on Thursday. And then Friday, the Philly Friday Frenzy. Saturday is the best of the week of the It's a Wrap Sports and Flyers Bruins Clear the Ice. And we will be back on Sunday, March 1st. Should be a better week for us. So there's our schedule for the week on the network. Here is the return of Clear the Ice. Here's your schedule. I have you Wednesday. Mike will have you Thursday, and Mike will also have you on Saturday, as the Flyers will be back at it against the Capitals, Rangers, and the Bruins. So there's your Clear the Ice schedule for the start of the week or for the week. There you go. So let's strap it in, strap it up, strap it on. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside the card at all times. Let's get our day in Philadelphia sports history because we're doing that tonight. We're doing our card. We probably won't do the of the night, but we're going to do a card tonight because I actually got some new cards over the weekend. I'll tell you that story here in a minute. But here's your day in Philadelphia sports history on this day in 1839. In 19th century Charleston, South Carolina, civil rights activist and baseball pioneer Octavius Cato was born. One of the frontline leaders of the black baseball boom after the Civil War, Cato, co-founder of the Pennsylvania State Equal Rights League, formed the all-black Philadelphia Pythons baseball squad in 1867. He is credited as one of the catalysts for the popularity of baseball in the black community. Back to its earliest roots, Cato was assassinated on October the 10th, 1871, at the age of 32. So here is to the civil rights activist Octavius Cato, born on this day, who pioneered the rise of black baseball in America, which eventually led to 1947 and Jackie Robinson and what it should have been from the very beginning, honestly. But there you have it, your day in Philadelphia sports history. Again, they're not always rah moments. There's some human elements thrown into these at times, and this was one of them. So Octavius Cato's birthday today in 1837. And I was not there when he was born. I wasn't cutting the cord. I wasn't doing any of that stuff. All right. I'm just reporting what they tell me. I wasn't firsthand on the ground. So happy birthday to Octavius Cato. And that was brought to you by the Philly AM sports program featuring Big Al and Mike. This morning was featuring me as I jumped on for some spot duty with Al. Mike out there clearing the roads in southeastern Pennsylvania and beyond as you guys are getting buried with the snowstorm right now. So Mike could not be on the air. So I jumped on willingly. And honestly, I forgot I was supposed to go on because I was caught up in that damn hockey game. And I was like, well, wait, man, I got to get on that. So got on and we had a great show. I want to thank Al for having me. So there you go. There's that. So let's get into open up the phone lines. You guys know the drill. I am going to put the link inside the chat. You guys click on the link, moves you over there behind backstage. I'll bring you on stage, blah, 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 blah. And you know the drill. So the phone lines are opened. Let's continue going through these. Barbara says there are 50 college quarterbacks better than Hurts, but we cheer for him because he's on our local team. That's all. Now, I don't cheer for him. You don't cheer for him either, Barbara. What are you talking about? Oh, and by the way, I saw a commercial tonight. Yeah, we mentioned the Olympics. Hurts was featured in one of the commercials I saw, promoing the flag football event in the 2028 Olympics. It will have NFL players. They will be involved. And there's a women's flag football event too. So they're really kind of turning the screws here on the 2028 summer games as flag football will be brought in. Does Jalen Hurts represent Team USA as a flag football quarterback? That'd be interesting. Be interesting to see what that looks like. But Jalen Hurts was in a commercial tonight I saw for the summer games. I never knew you had. I do. We got what? Sports tonight and the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. And during the football season, we got the Steel City Sunday, which is their pre and post game Steelers show. So we are multi-stateable. But I don't cheer. Neither do I. Yeah, neither do I, Barbara. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't cheer for them either. But we have a personal investment in them this year. The Eagles and Steelers will play in 2026, so there will be some fun with that. And the draft is in Pittsburgh this year, so be ready for some It's a Wrap Sports draft coverage in 2026. So it's working out for us. I'm taking where I can get it. But all right, let's go to phone lines. Our first caller of the night. It's a familiar guy, Joe. What's up?
How are you?
Good, Joe. Good night. Proud to be an American tonight.
A very, very good night. Jack Hughes should have won MVP. So Jack Hughes should have won MVP because he got bloodied, came back and scored the winning goal. But
he did.
I'm also going to give you the other MVP, and he's not here. You know who I'm talking about, right? Johnny Hockey.
Good point. Yeah, they took a minute to acknowledge John Gaudreau. They brought his daughter and his son onto the ice. Had their picture taken with the team. Now that was absolutely amazing. He definitely would have been part of the roster if hadn't been taken from us. I agree. But Joe, and I agree with the Jack Hughes thing. And it's funny because I know who Jack Hughes is. I thought largely up to this point he's been a bust as the former number 1 overall pick taken back in 2019. He has not really blossomed in the NHL yet with the Devils. But I don't know if this was his coming out party. I'm not going to say the competition was any lesser than he deals with in the NHL. I mean, these guys are all from the NHL that he was playing against. Jack Hughes might have just, and this is bad for the Flyers because he plays for the Devils. Jack Hughes might have just stamped his name on the NHL, which sucks. But you can't overlook Connor Hellebuck. With all the greatness that was happening offensively for Team USA, and there wasn't really much today, and all the greatness of Jack Hughes, they're not in this game if it wasn't for Connor Hellebuck. The guy was doing things that I didn't know goalies could do. Certainly, no goalie in this town does. So this guy was off the charts, man.
He had a great save with the stick.
Joe, that was a save of the sport, man. That's the best save I've ever seen.
Well, I'm going to give you some breaking news. You know why Sidney Crosby didn't play, right?
Lower body injury is what I was told.
Oh, concussion.
Oh, concussion.
Someone said it could be a concussion.
I know that they were so they put McDavid as the captain, brought Crosby out at the end to get his medal. I didn't hear concussion. It could have been because he got creamed in that quarterfinal game when he got hurt, or whatever it was the game before the that was quarters. So it might have been a concussion, and it's unfortunate that he couldn't go, but it's sport. It is what it is. I don't know if he would have done anything different out there, but I think Canada will look different in the next Olympics because again, what was Travis Sanheim doing there? What the hell is Travis Sanheim doing playing for Team Canada?
I think he went to learn how to be a leader.
That's not the place to do that. This is the place to go win a gold. Matthew Schaefer from the Islanders should have been playing on that Olympic team. Connor Bedard should have been on the Canadian Olympic team. Travis Sanheim and Theodore from the Vegas Golden Knights had no business being on that team. And I'm sure they're going to relook that heading into the next Olympics.
Yes, which is in what?
2030.
Okay, because 28 is
the summer
somewhere
games.
in that. So Crawford yesterday looked excellent.
He did. You ready? You ready to sign him to a Scott
like,
Kinnery contract? You want to give him a 7-year deal right now, Joe? You want to run him down on the field and say, "Sign this. Here's your bonus. Here, we'll lay the briefcase at your feet." You want to do that?
Why didn't he play today? Is it?
It's giving people some time. They got all spring with him. Rojas has got to get his reps in too.
Rojas almost misplayed a ball today.
Well, that wind was pretty bad today.
Yes, they lost, but did you watch any of the game, the Phillies game?
I watched the whole thing.
Did you see the interview with Harper?
I did.
He hinted at something.
The Aiden Miller injury. Hurt. Yeah, Aiden Miller's hurt. And they reported it after that he's got a sore back. Yeah. So. Yeah, they did. They interviewed that. But I also, from the Harper interview, love the fact that they asked him about the game, the hockey game, and they were all watching it, and it gets them excited for the WBC. Joe, listen, I know you're not anti-WBC, but you're not necessarily pro-WBC either.
I love WBC. I think USA is going to be one all the way.
Okay, but you were still kind of on the fence a little bit about players going, right?
Yes. I was, but now I'm all right with it.
So am I. I've never been not all right with it. But today, how you felt today watching the Team USA steal the sport away from the Canadians. I mean, they stole hockey away. We own hockey now. And listen, there's something at stake here because we lost the last WBC. We got to get it back from Japan. So how could you not be all in after what we just saw today? How could you not be all in on something like this? You know what I mean?
You have to be all in. But I think USA better live up to the expectations. They better. If not, it's going to be a shit show.
It'll come down to them in Japan at the end.
Otani is going to pitch, apparently.
I heard he wasn't. I heard he was going to have him bat.
I heard it could be if it's USA versus Japan, he could pitch in a championship game.
Yeah, maybe that.
He hinted at that.
Yeah.
I would be okay with that.
Absolutely. You got to be the best. You got to beat the best. Roll his ass out there. Who cares? Just don't put Mike Trout up against him. I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see that.
Nah. Mike Trout didn't make the team.
No, it didn't. Neither did Trey Turner.
Turner declined.
I saw a report where the phone never rang. That's what Turner said, the report I read.
Who was it? Who's the manager?
Mark Della Russa.
Della Russa said they called him and Turner said no, thank you.
No, the report I saw was Turner said the phone never rang. That's all right. I don't want Trey Turner there. He doesn't belong. What's that?
No.
I'm surprised. There's better shortstops for us.
There's a better center fielder, and they went with the best center fielder to replace the other one from Arizona.
Yep.
They went Keaton Anthony from Boston.
Right, because Carroll's out, right?
Yep.
So, March 5th, that starts. What's that?
Yeah, so they late March 2nd. Sure, everybody leaves. And breaking news, Alvarado's not going now.
Couldn't get insurance. Yes, that's been a common thing. Some players can't get insurance through the WBC. That's very interesting. But interesting.
I'm glad he's not going.
Yeah, but why can't you get insurance? Is it a risk? I mean, is it the PEDs? Are they afraid of that? I mean, why can't you get insurance to the WBC?
Maybe from him to steroids last year.
Yeah, maybe it has something to do with the PEDs. He's an insurance risk.
I would do. Sixers big win tonight.
I I actually watched a little bit of the Lakers Celtic game. I've been really just sidetracked all day long with this USA thing. I can't seem to get out of watching hype videos and watch party videos and interviews, and just amazing what this has done to me today. So I can't comment on the Sixers, but you say they won?
Yes.
That's
So
good.
I'll let you go. One last hockey question for Team USA. Who becomes the head coach? Would you run it back?
Yeah. What about, listen, Joe, what about the fact that we can't even get this right in Philadelphia? We fired Tortorella. Tortorella gets the gold.
And yeah,
The guy we hired, he gets the
Now
silver.
Did they get anything?
No, they don't actually they don't get medals now. But just the optics of this, again, we can't even get this right. We cannot even get the coach thing right. I mean, come on, man.
Well, they get a pay increase, I heard. They get paid.
Oh, I'm sure they'd get something out of it. And they also get the memory. I maybe they give them a medal or the team buys them a medal. I think it's stupid that the coaches don't get medals. They definitely deserve them. I think it's dumb that they don't get medals. But yeah.
Yeah, the look on the Talkett's face when they're getting out to USA medals.
I saw that when they were going down the line. He was standing on the bench. Yeah, I saw that. It was creepy, man. I was like, oh, come on, Tackett, get out of there. We're gonna be seeing that forever on Twitter, man. You're gonna be a meme. Thanks a lot. Good job, Rick.
I would love it. But good show.
All right, Joe. We'll talk tomorrow, man. All right.
I will talk. Yep.
All right, Joe Hale. Yeah, I mean, coaches don't get a medal. And with that being said, Jack and Quinn Hughes' mom is a coach on the women's side. She's one of the I think she's involved in strength and conditioning or a position coach. She's like a lesser of the assistant coaches. So she walks out of there with a gold medal. So not only does her two sons come away with gold medals, the mother walked away with a gold medal from this event. And then you got Luke Hughes, who's sitting there at home, and the dad. I mean, what's the Thanksgiving table like at the Hughes house next year? Are they all taking their gold medals and blinding Luke with them and saying, "Hey, can you see? Can you see what this?" I mean, talk about a family. Talk about good genes when it comes to hockey. The mother and her two sons walk away with gold medals for USA hockey. Just absolute amazing story. And then of course the Kachuk brothers, and I told this to Al this morning. I would take any one of the Team USA hockey members. Anyone. I don't care who. I would even take Joe Ottinger, the backup goalie who gave up a goal from the blue line. I would take him for the Flyers at this point. We don't have anybody like that on our team, and Travis Sanheim going to Team Canada, just like Travis Sanheim getting an 8-year contract extension from the Flyers. Does he have pictures on everybody? I mean, what is Travis Sanheim doing? How does he do it? Just has no business being on Team Canada. But thankfully, he was there, and I want to, shout out Team Canada for that. But just an embarrassment. But yeah, it was just a hell of a day, man. Hell of a day. So let's go back to the phones. And Papernick, how are you tonight?
Hey, what up, Matty? I'm just reading this article about Bryce Harper. Says Phillies just gave Harper another reason to dislike him. So now he wanted Hoskins, and Hoskins signed with Cleveland.
That's
1 year,
1.5.
1.5. Yeah, and he's not happy. This guy's going to bitch and moan about everything now. I mean, I can see, if he was mad about Pete Alonso, you know what I mean? Not getting him the last 2 years when he asked for him,
Right.
or trading and then sign him last year and didn't happen. But really, if you brought Rhys Hoskins, what position was he playing, Bryce? Outfield? I heard he's going to play left field.
We talked about that this morning. and somebody mentioned, I think Al mentioned third base. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You can't put Rhys Hoskins at third base. You can't play first. I mean, that's going to play third.
Yeah.
No, and I saw that today. I saw him sign with the Guardians. I know the report, Devin Kearney reported that and then started a whole thing with Howard Eskin and what have you. But, I didn't want Rhys Hoskins back. Did you?
Okay. I'm kind of on the fences because if you didn't sign Schwarber and say you had Alonso, you could always, you could DH and leave Alonso DH, put Hoskins at first, or Hoskins can DH, Harper, you know what I mean? You can maneuver him around. What are you going to do with him now? You got to sit Harper every time. He can't go out and play the outfield. He can't DH. So yeah,
but as far as so, do you think this was a move? Let's go at it this way. Do you think this was a move from Harper? Obviously, he's not happy with the offseason, and rightfully so. Get in line there, Bryce, because none of us are. Was this a move out of desperation just for the Phillies to do something, in his opinion, that just something else, something to help this team out? Do you think this is where that's coming from? Because Rhys Hoskins doesn't really move the needle for me. He never did, even when he was here. Didn't really bat an eyelash when he left, and he's sort of bottom of the barrel. He was still hanging around a week into spring training with no team. Was this more of a desperation move from Harper because the Phillies didn't do anything, allegedly, and maybe to his liking in the offseason? Where do you think this Hoskins thing came from him?
I don't, be honest with you, I don't know, but I'll just take like I said, my opinion earlier. I think he just wants out. He's going to start crying to get out of Philly. He's not happy with Dombrowski. That's part of the article, from the elite thing. He's just, he's just taking little shots here and there. It's going to get bad. But see, here's why I want Rhys Hoskins. This is why I probably would. I'm leaning, when I said I'm on the fence. Part of it. If you, on your bench, I'd rather him coming up in the bottom of the ninth, or say Garrett Stubbs or Marchand or Mundo Sosa. Them guys actually put fear of God in the up there. At least this guy knows he can hit home runs. You put him up there in the bottom of the ninth, one or two outs, a couple guys on base. There's a shot with him. He is a home run hitter.
Okay, now let's go that way. Do we need another home run hitter?
Off the bench? Yeah. Okay. Bottom of the ninth, one or two outs. Does Rafael Marchand scare you coming up as a pinch hitter? No.
No, and they won't use them because they're not going to burn their backup catcher. So it leaves Sosa, it leaves potentially Dylan Moore, it leaves Kemp, it leaves somebody like that. I hear what you're saying, but again, and I'm not advocating here to leave the bench the way it is. Surely I'm not at this point in love with the bench or anything else with the Phillies at this point, but it forces the Phillies into a situation where, okay, you don't have a home run hitter. They don't all have to be home run hitters. If I have a runner on first and second with one out, a single scores a run in theory, right? A single scores a run. Or if I have a runner on second with no outs, you pull the ball, you move the runner to the third, you set up a situation where you can lay down a sack bunt. You know what I mean? You can generate runs a different way. The mentality of we need home run hitters and that's the only way to do it, or that's the number one way to do it, to me is just, it hasn't worked for this team and I'm tired of doing with it. So, I really don't want to invest in another home run hitter. I honestly don't, who goes through periods of just ice coldness to go along with that home run hitting.
I hear you. I'm just, you got your opinion. I got mine. But
yeah,
I just saw the lineup in Turner. I see Schwarber. It was Turner, Schwarber, Harper, Schwarber, and Baum number 4. Everybody thinks today's lineup and Marsh number 5. Oh, this is and then they had doubles
day already. I thought it was opening day. I thought we were March 26th already. I was like, God damn, that was fast. Yeah. Yeah, it was not good. I agree.
Crawford looks good. It's a shame. It's a shame that we've talked about. I don't think Rincones Jr. is going to make the team.
Yeah,
I would put him right in left field. Just let him be out there. He's young. Let him play. He's hungry. Rojas is going to be our backup center field with Sean Kemp or whatever his name is, Kemp. Whatever.
No, they're going to platoon They're going to platoon Kemp. Kemp's going to be your fourth outfielder. Kemp will be the fourth outfielder.
Yeah, but they're going to have who's going to be the backup center fielder? Marsh?
Yeah, they'll move Marsh around. Yeah. There's no way Rojas makes this team out of spring. There's no way. I'm jumping off the Ben Franklin Bridge if he does. I'm done. I'm done. If Johan Rojas makes this team, I'm jumping off the bridge, man. I'm done.
Hey, Aiden Miller's why is he still in AAA? Did you see his AAA numbers last year?
He had 1 week with AAA. He only played like 6 games.
Okay, that's all I need to see. Did you see the numbers he put up?
I mean,
that's all has to be said.
I don't remember his AAA numbers. AA numbers were pretty impressive. Set the record down there with steals. Yeah.
Yeah, last year he had, maybe it was AA. He had 52 steals last year.
Yep. Eastern
maybe that's AA. Okay. Well, I mean, I've read that AA could be it could be harder than AAA because also the ball's different in double and AAA.
Yeah, see, AA is the first like real transfer. Like when they're coming up through the system through rookie leagues and the 2 levels of A ball. AA is the first one that's like, oh wow, this is like pro ball. You know what I mean? It's like that first, like, oh geez, this is not college anymore, or this is not, low levels. I mean, this is actual guys that have been in the major leagues before. Some of them are trying to reclaim their careers, and now I got to go up against this guy. Yeah, it's the hardest transitional league or level for a lot of players. And with that being said, he dominated at that level. Absolutely, there's something there. That's why I definitely think he'll start the season in AAA because he went up there at the end of the last season during the September call-ups. That got like a week in, like 6 games at the end of the season with Lehigh Valley. So, yeah, he'll get the opportunity at AAA. I know everyone wants him up here now. Maybe he does. Maybe he makes the team out of camp. I don't know. Is the lineup out for tomorrow? Is he playing? Does anybody know? Oh, wait, he's dealing with the back injury. He's probably not playing. So that's not good either. If he misses time because of a sore back, that doesn't do well for him at all.
Now I want to ask you a question because I asked Al this morning. Would you have hired John Harbaugh and fired Nick Sirianni?
Yeah, in a heartbeat. What are you talking about? We've had this conversation before.
No, yeah, I know, but did you hear Al's answer this morning when he was on with you?
As I said, I really got to apologize to Al because I was watching that. I was so fixated in that hockey game. I was hearing like every other word he was saying. So, no, what did he say?
Basically, he goes back that over the 18 years that Harbaugh's only had one Super Bowl champion, and he had talent, hasn't won nothing, everything else. Well, he said no, he wouldn't do it.
Because listen, see, and here's the thing, and not Al specifically, but and I remember we did talk about something about coaching this morning, and I mentioned that when the chips are down, Kaepernick, in a football game, or in a season, right? Because there's lots of highs and lows that these teams go through every season, and you run to the bridge of the ship of your team, and you see Daffy Duck as the captain. All right,
I trust Daffy Duck.
What sort of confidence does that instill in your team? So I could hire the greatest offensive and defensive coordinators in the world, and I could stand in between them and look like a friggin' genius. But at the end of the day, we know who's piloting the ship. But when they look at me to make a decision, I don't know what I'm doing. And that's exactly what's happening with Sirianni. He's a benefactor of what Vic Fangio has brought here, what Kellen Moore brought here a couple of years ago, which Shane Steichen had a few years back before then. He's a benefactor of those things. But when you're building a program, or you're building, I shouldn't say a program, but like a franchise, you need that rock to build it on, man. And Sirianni's not a rock. He's not. Reed is a rock. Harbaugh is a rock. Tomlin was a rock. And I get at the end of the day, you want to see Super Bowls, but those things come with instilling a franchise that is respected, instilling a franchise that people look at around the league and say, I want to go there and I want to work for that coach, or I want to be part of that program of what they're doing. Nobody in the NFL looks at the Eagles that way because of Daffy Duck at the helm of our ship. And that's the difference between a John Harbaugh and a Nick Sirianni. And that's my opinion about that, man.
Yeah, and what else? What else was being said this morning? I forget now. You know, about the Sean Mannion thing. Now, I'm 100% with you. If they lose Sean Mannion next year, it goes right back to Sirianni, or it's going to be another 6 month search to find a guy who's a quarterback coach that we just pulled them back out. You can't lose. I get it, it's the NFL. You're going to lose them, but the Eagles don't have that. What you were just saying about Daffy Duck, you don't have that guy to fall back on. It'll go right back to Sirianni, and that's why. We're on a double. We got a double-edged sword next year. It's either he's going to be here because because if he has a decent season, he's probably gone. Mm-hmm. The Eagles have a decent season, or say they don't make whatever. Say the offense is just running smooth, but they're not winning or whatever. He's going to get a good job. He's going to get a head coach position. He's going one way or the other. It's next year, I think. One way or the other, the Eagles got a choice: either fire Sirianni and make him the head coach, or you're going to have to let him walk and do the search again. But yeah, I just don't. I think that team's a shambles too. That's going to be hard. I got a feeling Vic's going to retire.
Do you subscribe to Al's way of thinking that if it means that we're losing offensive coordinators every year, every other year because we're winning Super Bowls, then so be it? He wants us to turn into the San Francisco Giants, where we're winning just in the even years, and we have like a Super Bowl and then a non-Super Bowl and a Super Bowl and a non. I mean, do you prescribe to that? And honestly, can that system maintain? Can that sustain doing it like that? I don't think it can. You gotta have some sort of foundation. You gotta have continuity, and maybe there is something to be said about Jalen Hurts and not having, the same coordinator at least for 3 years in a row. Maybe there is something about that. Maybe there's, and that could be the missing piece in Jalen Hurts' puzzle. I don't know, but I don't think it can sustain like that. I don't think you can sustain a franchise every other year like that. And I don't think they can win like that every other year, honestly.
Yeah, I don't buy into that. I mean, can they win every other year? No, it's been proven. I mean, what? They got to one, they lost. They got to one, they win. I mean, it's the thing is, if they, it's just they'll just keep, it's going to be like the definition of crazy. I mean, doing the same thing over and over again, getting different results. It's not. Yeah. It is not a guarantee you're going to get a Super Bowl that every other year or every year, but you got to do something with this offense. You got to keep continuity. That's what do you think makes the Chiefs so good? You got Andy running the offense. You got Spagnuolo running the defense. Bill Belichick ran the defense and everything else. Then you had Charlie Weiss. You had McDaniels. You had Bill O'Brien. They had consistency, both them teams, on their staff. Yeah, the Eagles don't have consistency. And it all goes back to what you're saying about Daffy Duck. When you look up and you see him, the rudder in the ship, he can't do nothing else. He can't call plays here. He can't call plays there on either side of the ball. Yeah. I mean, I don't subscribe to that. Would I be happy with the Super Bowls? If I'm guaranteed a Super Bowl every other year, fine. Hey, what the hell? But it don't work like that for us. And it does hurt Jalen in a sense. That. I mean, it does. It's got to hurt any quarterback. When you're trying to learn a new system every year or every other year, that's got to be bad. That's just like, that's horrible. All right, well, we'll let you go, Matty. I got to get to bed. I guess.
What's your thoughts on USA Canada, man?
I did not watch any. I don't watch the Olympics. Okay. But I did catch the last few minutes of the game. I'm glad. I did not know that this is the first time they've won a gold medal since 1980. Yeah. I'm like, man, are they the Philadelphia Flyers or is that me? Like the Flyers ain't. I mean, USA hockey hasn't been relevant. Is it that? I mean,
they've been relevant. They just haven't been able to win. They've been in many gold medal games up to this point, but they've been stopped by Canada up to now. This was a huge monkey off their back and a huge thing for the program. And I've been sucked into it all since the Olympics began. I watched every minute of every game that they played, and Yeah, today was just a magical day for me.
Well, but to get back what you were saying about this is like 46 years ago.
46 years, yeah.
So we have to wait another. We got wait another 46 years now. I mean,
no, wait, four more years they can do it again.
Well, no, I'm talking about winning the gold medal. Because you think about is this what's this? Is this the Soviet Union running through winning gold medals in basketball? Like in Canada's winning gold. I mean, like we have no outside of this year. We don't have really good hockey players. Now, Johnny Beecher. Do you know who Johnny Beecher is?
Yeah.
Played for. Well, I know his mom. He's from the area I live in.
Okay.
He went to high school and everything here. But I don't understand why he wasn't on the team. I don't understand a few things. Like I mean, he's young. I see. I don't watch the Olympics that much, so it's like 46 years. I'll just go back to that. 46 years. That's horrible. That's a horrible, man.
It was terrible. Yeah, no, it was a much needed. It was like the Eagles winning their first Super Bowl for me today. That's what it was for me. It was so again, and I'm invested a little bit more than maybe many people are in hockey, but seeing this today, especially the way it was won, it was amazing for me.
Yeah. All right, man. You have a good night. I'll get with you tomorrow.
All right, Papernick. Take care as always. Yeah. Absolutely magical for me. Absolutely magical. And some of the correlations, as Papernick mentioned, 46 years ago, today was not when they won last. Today was the anniversary of the Miracle on Ice against the Soviets, where they beat them in Lake Placid. And then a couple of days later went on to beat the Swedes for the gold. But, of course, the last time USA won gold, the Phillies won a World Series. Now, for those of you out there that prescribe to that way of thinking, which I borderline with that could be a good omen. That the last time the Team USA won gold was the last time the Phillies won a World Series, or they won a World Series. So take that as some maybe early season insurance. I don't know, but just a magical day, and we'll continue to gloat over Team USA as we move through the rest of the show. Barbara says, I'm sure Hurts won't be playing. I don't know, Barbara. Are you guaranteed that? I mean, flag football, an Olympic sport in 2028, both men's and women's. I don't know how the teams are going to be comprised or how they're going to select. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, when you're talking about flag football, this could be right up Jalen Hurts' alley. A mobile quarterback. I would imagine he wouldn't be afraid to run then. They can't hit him. I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see that evolve and how they select the quarterbacks for that. But yeah, it's bizarre that Harper's on the team as a first baseman over Alonso. Barbara, we've been talking about it off and on all off season. That was my number one priority for me, was to sign Alonso, let Schwarber walk, sign Alonso, move Harper to the DH, and then put Alonso at first. I think the Phillies missed the boat here when that. I don't know what the philosophy around that was. Yeah, they could have afforded them. Yeah, I agree. I think they missed that one. Joe Hale, I didn't watch it, but I think two starters on T-Wolves didn't play, and Randall's is banged up but played. Yeah, again, unfortunately, I did not watch any of the Sixers game today. I've been awash in USA glory. I want to get one of those Hershey chocolate life-size gold medals. I did some research. The actual gold medals, they only average about $2,500. They're solid gold, but no one really, I guess they're not that valuable. Hoskins can't play any position. Why would anybody want him? Yeah. Well, yeah, and that was the big it took me by surprise that there was even a question about Rhys Hoskins coming back to Philadelphia. I don't even know why that was a thing, or allegedly why Bryce Harper would advocate for that. Again, at least it was maybe Kaepernick may have a point here, and I think there is obviously a rift now between Harper and Dombrowski. And is he now just sort of like pouring salt in the wound? I don't know. And just trying to be just a pain in the ass in every turn. And maybe he's just pissed off that they didn't do enough in the offseason, and now he wants to sort of, I don't know, try to get better. But you're right. I don't know why anybody would want him, honestly. I agree. Hello, Bruce, and how are you tonight? Could you please say what you feel the Phillies starting outfield would be? Would be, to me, it's what, Garcia, Crawford, and Marsh. I mean, doesn't take a scientist, in my opinion, to figure that out. That's what it's going to be, at least to start the season. I don't know what it'll be like when it ends. Maybe Raconis Jr. finds his way in the left or right field at some point, or Otto Kemp supplants somebody out there. I don't know, but that's going to be the starting outfield, in my opinion, on opening day is Garcia, Crawford, and Marsh, and Kemp coming off the bench as the fourth outfielder. He'll platoon all over the place, but he'll be penciled in as that fourth outfielder for the Phillies. Again, that's kind of what I think the prevailing wind is, right? I mean, am I missing something there? But okay. So yeah. We should have tried to keep Bader. I was not interested in keeping Bader for anything more than 1 year. I was not interested in signing him to a multi-year contract. And he didn't want to do 1 year. Maybe they can reacquire him at the trade deadline. Maybe if they're so in love with him, they can go back and get him at the trade deadline. I think we fell in love with Bader, who had a really good season. I'm skipping ahead here. I think he had a really good season for the Phillies, and I can understand why people were looking at him. But prior to coming to the Phillies, he's been very mid throughout his career. So is there a guarantee that he recaptured that magic? I guess we'll never find out. But for 2 years, I was not willing to chance that, honestly. I for 1 year, in about, $5-6 mil, I would have signed him up in a heartbeat. But he was not interested in a 1 year deal. He's interested in multi-year, and I'm not interested in giving him a multi-year deal. So if we need to trade Bryce for being a baby, I hope we can do it soon. It's not going to be that easy. He does have a full no trade clause, and they're not going to just walk away from Bryce Harper because there's that slight chance that he will become elite at some point again. And they don't want to miss the boat there. It's not that easy. I wish it was. I wish it was a matter of being easy. And, but as I said, I think it was last week, Bryce Harper's people are smart people, and he puts people around him that protect him and take care of him or looking out for his financial well-being. And, he was crying a couple of years ago for more money. He hasn't really cried about more money publicly lately. But that doesn't mean he stopped wanting to get more money. It just means he doesn't have an opportunity or an avenue of approach to get that money based off of his performance. But that whole not elite thing, that might be something that his people are now going to use to start, tunneling him out of Philadelphia with, because now there's just a riff. You can kind of play that up where the president doesn't respect the player. And why would he want to be here? And he'll come off as the victim here and all that. This is, I agree, Bruce. This is the start of something I think really bad in terms of Bryce Harper and his relationship with the Phillies. I do. And I don't know where it's going to end, and I don't know how it'll end. Will it end with him being traded at the trade deadline? Maybe. Before that, maybe not. But it would have to be a serious return for the Phillies, and we kind of explored those options last week. My number one trade candidate for Bryce Harper would be the Vegas A's. Send him home. Send him there. Vegas is going to be good this year, and Vegas is going to be very good in about 3 years when they're in Vegas. And they're going to need a face to the franchise. So what better person than the hometown boy to be their franchise? And they are ripe with young talent in that system. Currently have the number 3 overall prospect in all of baseball in De Veers, and the number 13 prospect in all of baseball in Jamie Arnold, the left-hand pitcher or right-hand pitcher. Those are two names that I would be attached to any sort of Bryce Harper trade for the Phillies. So yeah, I do that deal. I would. It's not going to end well. And, you know, he may play himself out of a max worth. You know what I mean? He may go into some sort of hissy fit on the sidelines there on the dugout with his furry elbow guards and his new purple sneakers and cost us some players because he's going to refuse to play or something like that. Yeah. I hope Dave Dombrowski can can navigate these waters. I really do, because this could get very bad. I feel you're right, as he is a baby, and he's also started trouble in Washington, and Papelbon beat him up for it. Yeah, well, Papelbon's an unhinged person too. Again, and it's funny, Bruce, because you know we're no strangers to players that have this diva persona to them, right? I mean, AJ Brown, you know, Bryce Harper, MattyB Mitchkoff, if you want to kind of throw him in there, starting to sort of come out like that. But Joel Embiid, Paul George, you know, these guys and these gals and, you know, these athletes, as they come up through the ranks, especially a Bryce Harper-like player, has never been told no before. He's gotten everything he's ever wanted. And whether it's been earned or not earned, but his reputation has preceded him. People have taken care of him. He's been propped up and told he's the greatest thing since sliced bread for a lot of years. And it creates a false sense of, you know, of who they are in reality, I think, to a lot of these kids. And now we have to deal with them as adults. And they're missing a key part of that adult puzzle. But that's dancing with the devil. I mean, you want these types of players because they help you win, but you got to take on those personalities because that's who they are. So it's double-edged sword there when it comes to this type of stuff. Those players are selfish and always cause problems. You know, do they cause problems, or do they, you know, again, what's the end state to that? Is Bryce Harper's end state to win, or is Bryce Harper's end state to get paid? You know, maybe a combination of both. You know, maybe a combination of both. I don't know. But yeah, Phillies are back at it, man. They're you know, we're 2 games in. Tomorrow, who they play? Anybody know offhand? I want to say Detroit. Could be wrong. But it'll be on TV and I'll be watching. And what about the news coming out that no more Taryn Hatcher, no more Mike Schmidt on the telecast this year? What the hell are they doing? I don't really care about Taryn, other than eye candy. I don't know what the hell she's walking around sampling food all night long. I mean, I don't really care about her gone. But no more Mike Schmidt, no more Sundays with Schmidt. What am I going to do? What the hell am I going to do? How do you not bring back the all-time greatest Philly to ever play this game, the greatest third baseman ever played this game? How do you not bring him back for Sundays with Schmidt? I mean, what planet are we living in? Is NBC 10? Are they like cutting back? Are they trying to save something? Are they making some fiscal decisions with my emotions? Again, other than the eye candy portion of Taryn Hatcher, she's very easy on the eyes and very pleasant to look at. Extremely. All right. I'm not really going to miss what she brought to the table because I don't need to know what's happened in Tony Luke's or in the Bull's kitchen. I don't care about what's happening up in Ashburn Alley. I really don't. But Mike Schmidt, really? You're not bringing him back? Man, that's like Christmas with no Santa. I hope they really figure it out and bring it back in 27. Maybe with the new CBA, you know, there's going to be better TV deals. I don't know. Spend a little extra money. I'll bring Mike on. We'll do a Sundays with Schmidt here on the network. Every Sunday we'll do a watch party featuring me and Mike Schmidt. See if he agrees to that. I don't have that kind of time. I wish I did. I wish I could do that. But Yeah, that sucks. That sucks no more, Mike Schmidt. It's not on TV. Yes, it is on TV. It's always on TV there, Joe. Joe says, what? See, you got to look broader, right? It may not be on TV in the local area, which it probably isn't because it's probably a road game, right? But it'll be on TV on the MLB app. Oh, yes, sir. The MLB app will have it. Or maybe they won't. I won't know until game time. But there's a 75 to 80% chance it'll be on. There's like maybe, as I remember, last spring, there was like 5 games that weren't televised through the MLB app. The rest of them were. But yes, I agree. It will not be on the local area. It'll be on the app. So $30 a month. I'm not advocating or promoting the MLB app, but if you're a out of market guy like me, when it comes to baseball, it is the sanest thing for me to do. Purchase the app. So Mike Schmidt's dealing with health issues. Joe, where are you getting that information from? Now, these are things that I pride myself on catching when they happen. If Mike Schmidt's dealing with health issues, I need to know, because we need to get him back to being healthy. That man's a national treasure. But if that's the case, well, a speedy recovery, Mike. I hope you're doing well. But it still doesn't change my opinion about no Sundays with Schmidt. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't. So it's what, Ben Davis, Ruben Amaro, and freaking Kruk? That's it? That's the no frills cast this year? Then they better put a lot of Kruk on. I mean, they better like double down on Kruk's duties and make him work a lot of games. Because I can't go through a summer listening to Ben Davis and Ruben Amaro. I just can't. I can't do that. No offense to Ruben or Ben Davis, but I just can't. Well, you know what they should do? Vitalico. Ricky Vitalico should be inside the booth. I would love him as a color guy. That's the guy who wears his heart on the sleeve, man. I want to hear Ricky Bo. Play-by-play. Color. He'd be the color guy. That sucks, man. Who do I feel are the greatest Phillies of all time by each position? I feel Darren Dalton, Pete Rose, Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins, Pete Rose, and then the infielder. We did this segment maybe a year ago where I gave you my all-time Phillies roster. All position players, starting rotation, and my closer. And out of memory, my all-time Phillies first baseman was hands down Pete Rose. Second baseman was Chase. Third base or shortstop was Jimmy. I had of course, Schmidt at third. Lieberthal was my catcher, was hands down. Ashburn's out in center. Lazinski in left. And who did I stick out in right field? Was it? Not Bobby Abreu. It was. I think I put Gary Maddox in right, even though I know he can play center. But I believe that was my all-time roster. My rotation was, I believe, Schilling was my 5. I want to say it was my 5. Was Schilling my 5? Yeah. Or let's start from the top. It was Carlton, Roberts, Bunning, Wheeler. No, Wheeler, Schilling 4, Wheeler at 5. That was my all-time rotation. And my closer was the only closer in Phillies history to ever win the Cy Young Award was Mr. Steve Bedrosian. That was my all-time Phillies roster. Yep. Lieberthal had a better career than Darren Dalton did, statistically speaking, offensively. The problem with Lieberthal was he played for some terrible, god-awful Phillies teams while he was in Philadelphia. If they would have had Lieberthal in that 08 run, with that 08 group, instead of Ruiz, which, again, Carlos Ruiz was a very fine catcher, but if they would have had Lieberthal at that time, I think we win at least 3 World Series. Honestly, I do. He provided so much more offensively than Darren Dalton did. And Dalton really, meandered around for a lot of years prior to hitting in 93. And then after that, he kind of sunk back into that obscurity until he was traded in 97. Was that when he was traded to the Marlins? Don't get me wrong, though. Dalton was probably top 3 of my catchers, but I had Lieberthal as my starter. Oh, Cole. Yeah, I saw that. It's all lesser Mike Schmitz to me. How can you not have Sunday with Schmitz? Come on, man. Criminal. But yes, Phillies are back in action tomorrow, as Joey Hale reported on the radio in the Philadelphia area. Those of us that are out of market, if you have the app, you're fine. I used to also like Dykstra, but he's not top 3 center fielder. Well, that has nothing to do with his on the field. He was friggin' so we acquired him in what year was that? 91? No, 90, 89. When did we get Dykstra? Was it 89 or 90? We got him. In the years leading up to 93, he was above average, almost elite. After 93, the injuries caught up with him, and then he kind of fell off. So there was a moment there where he was trending in that direction of being one of my all-time great Phillies outfielders, regardless of his off-the-field stuff. I don't really care. That had nothing to do with his performance on the field. By now, he's a terrible human being. I'll give you that. But he just didn't do it long enough for me here. Because after 93, it just seemed to kind of come apart for him too. Injuries, and he got slowed down. So, and how can you go with anybody other than Richie Ashburn? He's a friggin' Hall of Famer. I mean, you got to look past the generations too. I know there wasn't too much back then. Ashburn's probably the best that they had. But, Dick Allen, you make a case for him too in left field as being, or right field. You can make a case for Allen, but I think Maddox. I think my outfield's pretty strong. Lisinski, Maddox, and Ashburn. I think it's pretty strong outfield. Do I feel Pete Rose should be in 100%? Never wavered from that. It's the greatest hitter of all time. 100%. 100%. Yep. And that gambling thing, yeah, that might have been earth-shattering news back in the day, but it ain't nothing anymore. So now the other stuff that he's allegedly done, I get you. But that doesn't change, again, what he did on the field for me. But, yeah, no, I agree. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. So, and hopefully in the next couple of years he will be. All right. We are coming up on an hour and 35 minutes. So we're going to continue the conversation for a little while longer. We're going to wrap it up, though. Of course, the big story today, USA hockey gold, the best in the world, a masterpiece of a game against the Canadians, 2-1 overtime with thriller. Which makes me think a little bit more about the conversation of international play in major sports, specifically the stuff that happens either in season or preseason. With the WBC now approaching, March 5th, I believe it starts. We have an opportunity now as the American USA baseball, if you will. I know that's not really a thing anymore. It is kind of, but not really. Do they have an opportunity to continue this wave of patriotism, recapturing gold in a WBC? And it means something again. Well, I should say it potentially means something because in 2028, the Summer Olympics will feature baseball. It is returning. There will be 6 teams that will participate in a tournament for Olympic gold in the summer of 2028 in Los Angeles. And 2 of those teams are going to get determined by what happens in the WBC. Now, MLB has not signed off officially on sending players to the Olympics. That'll probably be part of their new CBA agreement. And coincidentally, the baseball tournament for the Olympics will be from July 13th to the 19th of 2028, which happens to fall right traditionally smack dab in the All-Star break. Boy, lucky that worked out. So obviously there's inclinations that they want Major League Baseball to participate now, because I believe the Summer Olympics are from like the 14th to the 30th of July, which is early for summer games. Typically they're not until the end of summer, like in August into September. But they are doing the summer games in 28 in mid-July, which lines up for the baseball teams in MLB to participate in lieu of an all-star game. And as I said, two of these teams that are going to go to this tournament, this Olympic tournament, will come from the WBC. The top two teams from the Americas will get bids to the Olympics based on the WBC. Now, Team USA is not part of that. They are in the tournament because of being the host country. So they don't have to qualify. They're in. So coming out of the WBC, we'll have three teams earmarked for Olympic play. So it's starting to mean something. It means something. It means an opportunity to go and participate in the Olympics and win gold for your country. Does that trump, sorry for the pun there, does that trump your opinions on professional athletes in international sports? A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people fear injury. A lot of people fear, hurting your team's chances versus winning gold for your country. I think that should be 100% the first priority of every athlete, is to represent your country and play your ass off and put your body on the line and your teeth on the line for your country. And I love it. And I am thrilled WBC is back. I'm thrilled that it's coming off the heels of a Olympic gold medal run for the hockey teams. And I'm looking forward to a great playoff baseball atmosphere in March, in about 2 weeks, on March 5th. So that's part of the conversation. And, of course, we're mixing a little Phillies here tonight. Phillies lost today 4-3, I believe, was the score down there in Clearwater. Their home opener at Baycare to the Connor Griffin-led Pittsburgh Pirates. That kid's going to be a beast. Going to be a beast for the Pirates. And they'll be back at it again tomorrow. So let's move on now to my favorite. Do I plan on going to a lot of games? A lot of what games? A lot of Phillies games? If I get to one Phillies game this year, I call it a successful season. It's in my line of work, Bruce, I don't have the time. I can barely fit what I do professionally in this together, let alone have any kind of life outside of that. I'm an umpire, Bruce. I don't know if you knew that. I'm a baseball umpire. And I'm actually going Tuesday morning. I'm leaving, driving to Tennessee, and I'll be working college out of the Tennessee area from late February. In fact, I got a perfect game tournament this coming weekend down in Alabama, but I have I'll be working college games starting Tuesday, running through about mid-April. So I'll be actually living down south. Then when I come home, I finish up high school baseball in this area, and then I transition to Cooperstown, New York, where I umpire games up there all summer long, 8 games a day, or not 8 games a week, about 2 a day. So I barely have any time to do anything but that and this. So I try to work in at least 1 or 2 a season. I didn't know that, but you must be so hard as everything when you get mad. Yeah, well, yeah. Everyone has their own cross to carry in life. I love it. I love it. And by the way, how do you like an ABS? Today, poor guy working the Phillies game, man. Whew, that was a rough game for him. They were challenging every goddamn call. But that's what ABS is there for. Could you say who you feel is the best ump ever, and also who's the worst one? No. I cannot. You know why? Because it is a subjective job. I'm going to give you a little insight into the world of the baseball umpire. This goes for anybody that's listening. Here's the thing. There's two sets of lines in umpiring. Okay? Are you ready? I'm going to drop some knowledge on you. So when you're watching a game, you can delineate where the problems come from. Okay? There's rule interpretation, and then there's judgment calls. Okay? Rule interpretation is a no starter. If you cannot interpret a rule correctly, that's terrible, right? But rule interpretations come into play during a baseball game on average of about 5% of the time. Okay? About 5% of the time, you actually have to go into the book, into your mental rule book, and make the right call on something as per the letter of the rule. 95% of an umpire's day is involved in judgment calls. Okay? Judgment calls. Everything from the strike zone to whether or not he was tug out, whether or not he stepped on the bag, whether or not he beat the throw, whether or not he trapped the ball, whether or not he caught the ball, whether or not the ball was fair, whether or not the ball was foul. Okay? Those are 95% of your day as an umpire. And those are what get people irritated when you make a judgment call based on your. So it's not the fans' judgment of how the game is officiated in a judgment call situation. It's not the manager's judgment. It's not the player's judgment. It's my judgment, me, MattyB, my individual judgment, what I see with my own peepers. Okay? That's my call. That's the human aspect of being an umpire. That is why AI, robots, whatever, will never, ever be able to replace umpires completely, because they will interpret rules like the best of them. They will not be able to create, they will not be able to ascertain judgment calls. They won't. So that's what gets underneath people's skin. It's not a rule interpretation, because a lot of people who think that they are knowledgeable in baseball don't know nothing about the rules. There's so many rules in baseball. There's so many back of the book things that come up. And when they come up, people go, well, the biggest one, and I guess I'll give you the big, and it's not even a rule interpretation, honestly. It's a, okay, yeah, I will give you this. Years ago, the big thing was your hands, right? If you're swinging the bat and the ball, say, hits your hand as you're standing up there and the ball hits you in the hand, right? Or if you're swinging the bat and as in the process of swinging, the ball hits your hand. Oh, well, it's a foul ball. No, what are you talking about? Well, the hand is an extension of the bat. What the hell are you talking about? The hand is your extension of your arm. No, it's hit by a pitch. You get a word of base. We're talking about Blue. The ball hit him in the hand. Yeah. So what? So that's an example of a miscommon. It was a few years ago. I think they ironed it out by now, but judgment calls are 95% of everything else. What I see as a strike, what I see as safer out, what I see as a trap ball, what I see as a fair or foul ball, or what I see as obstruction versus what I see as interference. Those are judgment calls, right? And that's what gets under people's skin. And just because I see it one way doesn't mean you're going to see it one way. And that's the delinear purposes of being an umpire. It's about officiating rules and doing all that, but it's also about making judgment calls. So I love that. So I can't answer that question, who I think the worst that was. The big thing these days is the half swing or the check swing, right? Well, there's a couple of things that govern the check swing. I love when people say, well, it broke the plane. What plane? What's the plane? What is the plane? There is no plane. There's no 45-degree angle. There's no, the muzzle of the bat or the barrel of the bat pointed out towards his hips or whatever the case is. No, in OBR, there is none of that. it's a judgment call on the umpire whether or not the intent was to swing. That's what the rule states. If I'm looking down that third base or first base, whatever side, if it's a lefty or righty, and I see a check swing, and in my judgment, the intent of that swing, the intent of that batter was to swing, I don't care if he went 95% of the way through or 5% of the way through. In my judgment, he was intending to swing. Strike. See, again, that's where we get all wrapped around the axle, right? Oh, well, no, that wasn't a swing. Yeah, it was, because I saw it and I interpreted it that way. That's what the rule says. The rule says, in my judgment, that I think the batter intended to swing. Not in your judgment or the guy up in the 500 section. No, my judgment. You don't like it, become an umpire and you make a different call. But I don't know what to tell you. Depending on what level. You do have challenges. You don't have ABS. You do have challenges. Video replay in Division 1. And I think in Division 2. But not ABS. There is no ABS at the college level. Not yet. I doubt they'll ever get it to. Do I have to study a rule book and take tests every year? Can I take tests every year? Every year. Do I have 10? Oh, really? Oh, so they're getting hammered. Joe Hale's getting hammered with snow. All right, let's get to my favorite segment of all, because I definitely want to talk about cards. I went to a show yesterday, so I want to talk about that. So let's do it. Yep. It is MattyB's card review. We have hit that magical portion of our program tonight. And by the way, for those of you that are watching, make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all those things that the kiddies do. Help us grow the network. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's gonna be a slow week this week. A lot of people kind of going in a lot of different directions, me being one of them. So we're gonna have sporadic programming throughout the week. Let me show you the schedule one last time. This is our schedule for the week. Tomorrow you'll have the Pittsburgh Sports Tonight at 7, and you will have me. I was not supposed to be here tomorrow, but I will be here tomorrow. But you will not have me or anything on Tuesday. Tuesday is a dead day here on the network. If you want to do a show, let me know, and I'll put you on Tuesday. 8 o'clock on Wednesday, you'll have the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. I'll be back at some point Wednesday night. I'm not saying that's going to be a 9 o'clock start. It might be later, but it will happen because it will be both the final word and the clear the ice as the Flyers return to action. And I will have that. I'll have the twofer that night. And then on Thursday, you'll have the Gridiron Weekly and the final word with Mike Lauro, as we'll have the Flyers Rangers. We're back. Not final word. Clear the ice is back. And 9 o'clock is the Philly Friday Frenzy, and then everything else we do for the weekend. Next week is looking right now like it might be more of a normal week. But we're going to have to wait and kind of see how that goes for right now. So, thank you, Bruce. I appreciate that, man. So let's do the card review. I went to a show yesterday. I went to a baseball card show in my area. It was sort of not a pop-up show, but I found out about it at the last minute. And I was bored yesterday. So me and my wife, we took a ride 10 minutes away. I paid $5, went into the show, and really found some decent deals, some nice cards. I picked up 3. I purchased 2 cards, and I traded for a card. And we're going to talk about one of the cards that I purchased tonight. Saw this thing sticking out of the display case, and I gravitated right towards it. It is an older card of a player that I was just glazing over for the last 25 minutes when I found out there will be no Sundays with him. And it's always good to acquire Mike Schmidt baseball cards. And I was able to find one of his, I'm not going to say rare cards because this is a base card, but it's his 1974 Topps, his second year card in the league. And there it is. It's from the 74 Topps collection, base card number 283. And boy, oh boy, there's so many things to talk about when it comes to this card. This is before Mike Schmidt was Mike Schmidt, right? This is when Mike Schmidt was, as Danny Ozark said, if he had his way, would be traded for a bag of pumpkins. And such bad quality on this card, not not card quality, just bad quality, because of the technology that existed in 1974. No frills, no buzzers, no whistles. This is a straight Mike Schmidt 1974 baseball card. This is as wax pack as it comes when it comes to tops, but it's a 74 Schmidt. It's a second year Mike Schmidt card. And this card is all over the place when it comes to value currently in the market today. As an ungraded card, this card has sold for on average for about $11. But then after that, it goes through the roof. It goes from an ungraded to a 7, to a PSA 7. You're looking at about 85. To a PSA 8, you're looking at about 185. A PSA 9 takes you all the way to about $800. A PSA 9.5 is about $880. And if you happen to have a PSA 10 of this card, it has a market value of about $16,800. So definitely as a PSA 10, definitely a sought after collectible item as it pertains to Mike Schmidt and his legacy. I picked this card up and a Jim Bunning 66 Topps signed card for $35 for both cards combined total. I don't think I have a PSA 10. Matter of fact, I know I don't. But I got something probably somewhere in between the 7 and 8 range. Maybe it's less than that. I don't know, but I think I got a pretty good copy of this card. The inspection I did of the card when I purchased it was very brief, and it's very to the point. You're looking at sharp corners first and foremost. You're looking at centering, and you're looking at the cut of the card. So I looked at this, and it is not a 10. There's definitely some age to this card that I have here, but definitely between that and a Bunning signed 66 Topps, I think I made out pretty damn good. So we're going to talk this card again. It's not no frills, no whistles, no bells, no buzzers, but it's the 74 Mike Schmidt, and here it is in its physical form. It's an ugly ass baseball card. I ain't gonna lie, man. It is an ugly card, but it is from a Hall of Famer, an all-time great Philly, and an all-time great Major League Baseball player. So very happy with the purchase. I also picked up through a trade. Now we talked about it last week. We did the Roman Anthony Titans of the Game 2026 Top Series 1 card. I ended up trading that card and another Roman Anthony, I think an SMLB card, Stars of Major League Baseball card from 2026. I ended up trading 2 of those cards for a 2025 Paul Skeens Topps Finest Rare Checkerboard card that has got some value to it. So I thought I made out pretty good this weekend in some decent deals. We'll talk about those other cards later another night. But yeah, 1974 Mike Schmidt. Don't have a PSA 10. I'm not sitting on a $17,000 baseball card, but I think I'm sitting on a pretty decent card. And again, it's a 74 Schmidt. Gotta have it. And for that, along with a 66 Bunning signed auto Bunning, Jim Bunning, for $35, couldn't say no. And there you go. There's tonight's card review, the 74 Mike Schmidt Topps card number 283. And there you have it. MattyB, is that card at least? No, I doubt. I mean, I depends on who wants it. I don't know if I could try to sell for $100. I doubt I get it, but I could try. All right, everybody, listen, that's going to do me tonight. It's been a long day, emotional roller coaster of a day for me. I've been caught up in this USA Hockey thing. I am extremely happy and proud of that group. And before I do sign off, I do want to say one thing. I want to individually shout out the entire roster of the USA Hockey. Matt Boldy, obviously with the sick goal this morning that got the scoring going for Team USA, where he splits two defenders, lifts the puck up, knocks the puck back down, or lifts the puck up, splits the defenders, knocks the puck back down, then goes forehand to backhand, back to forehand before beating Bennington on the far side. An amazing goal, highlight goal. Kyle Connor, Jack Eichel, good to see Eichel break through. A very good young player who spent years and years languishing with the Buffalo Sabres, now on with Vegas. Good to see him finally get his due. Brock Faber, Jake Gunsel, Noah Hannafin, Connor Hellebuck. What can I say about Connor Hellebuck? Save of the sport tonight in that game. Jack Hughes, has he stamped his arrival to the National Hockey League now? Is he the next greatest? His brother Quinn, Clayton Keller, Jackson Lacombe, Dylan Larkin, another player who's languished an entire career stuck in Detroit, finally breaks through and gets his. It was great to see Dylan Larkin be a champion today. Austin Matthews, another one, who's been, billed as can't win the big game. Well, he won the big one today. Charlie McAvoy, JT Miller, Brock Nelson, Jake Ottinger, Jake Sanderson, Jacob Slavin, Jeremy Swayman, Tage Thompson, Brady Kachuk, Matthew Kachuk, Vincent Trocheck, Zach Borinsky, and the staff, assistant coach David Quinn, assistant coach John Tortorella, assistant coach John Hines, and head coach Mike Sullivan. Congratulations to all of you. You did the country proud. You did me proud today. And this hopefully carries over till March 5th when we can do it again for baseball. So a great day to be an American, a proud day to be an American. And I salute Team USA. I salute USA Hockey. A great day, a memorable day, historical day for me. And I'm glad I could see it. My first physical memory of a gold medal U.S. hockey team. So congratulations to Team USA today. That's going to wrap me up. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same station. So we'll continue the conversation on, hopefully on to the Phillies, on the whatever grabs our fancy. So until we talk again tomorrow night, I'm out of here.